What's going on, guys? I'm Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I talk about fashion and fragrance on this channel, so it's smelling good and looking good are things that you're into as well. Subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon as well. That way, anytime I upload new content on YouTube, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. All right, guys, on today's video, I'm going to be jumping into 10 fragrances in my collection, high-end designer luxury fragrances. That I feel like are great for the cold weather. So we're talking about fall and winter. And what I've decided to do is give you 5 for fall and 5 for the winter. So I'll knock them all out on one list. I decided to do this because when you look at fragrances and you talk about designer fragrances, you talk about niche fragrances, there's kind of this gray area, if you will, and that is high-end designer fragrances. Now, for those of you that may not be aware, high-end designer fragrance brands like Christian Dior, YSL, Louis Vuitton, Tom Ford has a private collection as well. So the high-end designer fragrances, and the gray area is sometimes people feel like they don't know where to put these fragrances. Are they actually designer fragrances, or do we put them in the niche category? Now, the argument for people that put them in the niche category is because of the price point. And on average, they are probably a little bit more creative and probably also a little bit, I would say, more expensive ingredients go into the high-end designer stuff. Because at the end of the day, this is just me being honest. Imagine a fragrance like Coromandel, which is from Chanel's private collection, and then you compare that with just the typical, I don't know, fragrance from Paco Rabanne. Just, to me, yeah, really unfair comparison. So I get the people that want to put these fragrances with niche. But technically, at the end of the day, they are designer fragrances. So what your boy has decided to do, which, you know, I thought maybe someone would have come up with this idea a long time ago, is to give these fragrances their own category. So that's what we're getting into today, top 10 high-end designer fragrances for the fall and winter. So if you want to see what's on my list, you guys know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump into these top 10 fragrances. Of course, as I always do, I have a few housekeeping things. Number one, guys, Navitus Parfums is running an amazing sale right now. The more you buy, the more you save. You can get up to about 50–60% off of your total order. So listen, I know some of you guys didn't get a chance to pick up my stuff. Go do it. Just go do it, all right? Go do it right now while you have a chance to get a similar deal to what you would have received when the fragrances first launched. So head over to navitusparfums.com and pick up my fragrances. Next order of business, guys, Scent Explorer. Scent Explorer is coming up this weekend. I'm going to put a link down below if you guys want to register for Scent Explorer. It's not too late to do so. Go ahead and register. I am going to be a part of Scent Explorer this year. I'm still trying to make it to New York, but if not, I'll at least be virtual, but I'm trying my best to actually get there. Well, a few little kinks to work out. But anyway, guys, Scent Explorer is an amazing event. I found out about a lot of different fragrances, some brands I had never really had a chance to try. That was when I received my bag in the mail, my Scent Explorer goodies. It gave me a chance to really explore a lot of niche brands that, you know, again, that I'm thankful I had a chance to explore. So that's the name, Scent Explorer. See, explore, you get it. So guys, I'll make sure I link it down below. So head over to the link and check out the page if you want to be a part of Scent Explorer this year. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you click on my link and go ahead and register. All right, guys, so the top 10, the way I'm going to do this, I have 5 high-end designer brands that I want to talk about. So I'm going to give you one from each brand. So there's 5 different brands here. I'll give you one from each brand, one for fall, one for winter. So let's start with the fall fragrance, and we're going to start with the brand of Louis Vuitton. Now, this gives me a chance also to talk about my birthday, which was November the 19th. Shout out to everybody that sent me birthday wishes. Sincerely, I appreciate it over on Instagram and things of that nature. So thank you for the birthday wishes. while on my birthday, I had a chance to pick up 2 fragrances. The wife bought me one. I'm going to talk about that in another video, which blew me away. And this fragrance that I want to talk about that's great for the fall from Louis Vuitton comes from the house, well, obviously Louis Vuitton, but it is a fragrance that I picked up for my birthday. Here's a nice little bag that they give you over there, which is nice. Louis Vuitton, of course. And the fragrance is absolutely dynamite, man. And I'll tell you more about what I kind of compare this to, but I don't want to give it away yet. But nonetheless, let's talk about the fragrance a little bit. Now, the fragrance that I would think is great for the fall that I just picked up from Louis Vuitton is called Nouveau Monde. Nouveau Monde, and this is an amazing fragrance, man. Listen. Hold on, let me adjust this. All right, sorry guys, I had to adjust the lighting a little bit for the video. So the fragrance is called Nouveau Monde from Louis Vuitton. And all fragrances, when you purchase them from Louis Vuitton, they come with this like cylindrical packaging. The fragrance sits in the base of the packaging like this. And this thing is absolutely dynamite, man. This has patchouli in it. It has cacao. Some people say this kind of smells like ombre nomade, and I can kind of get that, but this goes in its own direction. To me, not gourmand, but it's not as animalic as ombre nomade. Okay, because again, that patchouli in there, you have cacao in this as well, along with the rose. This is amazing fragrance, guys. Nouveau Monde. So again, if you tried ombre nomade and it was a little bit too animalic for you, give this one a try, man, because this is a dynamite fragrance. I could not put it down once I put it to my nose. It's so good. It's so good, man. So for the fall from the house of Louis Vuitton, I would recommend this one, and it's called Nouveau Monde. And speaking of the aforementioned fragrance, what I would go with Louis Vuitton, of course, for the winter is, of course, Ombre Nomade. So this is rose, this is smoky incense, and oud. I mean, this one is crazy, man. The rose oud combination, super smoky with some raspberry in there as well. This is just, to me, the perfect kind of statement fragrance to wear in the winter time. I usually kind of reserve this for when I'm going somewhere where I need to be dressed up. We're going to be attending a few galas here over the next couple weeks. One for my fraternity, one for my wife's sorority. Places like that. You know, when I'm in a tuxedo, my gosh, you cannot beat this. It kind of smells mysterious. It kind of smells upscale as well. So I love to pull this one out for those kind of events. So for the winter, for my high-end luxury designer fragrances, my recommendation is this one from Louis Vuitton. Again, this is called Ombre Nomade. All right, guys, the next high-end luxury designer fragrance that I want to talk about comes from Chanel, from the exclusive line of Chanel. And this fragrance is one I've talked about a few times here over the past couple weeks, and this Coromandel. Coromandel, I love this fragrance. Again, you know, as far as the primary notes in it, you're going to get patchouli in this as well, and you're going to get white chocolate. But this is so well done. It kind of teeters with the gourmand category because of that white chocolate in here, and the patchouli kind of gives almost even more kind of that chocolatey feel, if you will. Some spices in here as well. This is just, oh my God, it's so good. This is one of my favorite fragrances, but it does work in the fall. I'm sure you could pull it off in the winter. Obviously, you could pull it off in the winter, but for the sake of this list, this will be my selection from Chanel for the fall time. So check it out. If you like patchouli fragrances, I'm sure this is one you will really enjoy. And again, this one is called Coromandel. All right, guys. So from the house of Chanel, from the exclusive collection, the fragrance that I would recommend for the winter is going to be Le Lion. This is called Le Lion, another fragrance that actually has patchouli in it as well. But this one gives us more of a kind of just smoky green thing that I really love. This is well done as well. You have patchouli in here, you have amber in this, you have vanilla in this one as well, labdanum. This is just a standout fragrance. All of the fragrances from the that I have sampled from the Chanel exclusive line of fragrances are really well done. They are very high quality. You can kind of argue, about price point and that kind of stuff, and I could see where you're going. They just kind of upped the prices on the Chanel fragrances about $50 a few months ago, but that's for the consumer to kind of determine if something is of worth and value. But I can tell you that the fragrances are very well done and they are fantastic, and this one is really good. So my winter selection from Chanel will be this one, and again, it is called Le Lion. All right, guys, so moving right along to the House of YSL. Their private collection of fragrances, high-end luxury designer fragrance collection. My choice for the fall is going to be this one right here, and it's called Captain. Captain. To me, Captain is kind of the stepchild in his collection, because when you look at the bottle, the presentation, the color of the juice, and all that kind of stuff, when you go into a store that carries these fragrances, a lot of times you're going to see this right beside Tuxedo and Cabane. And those fragrances, rightfully so, get a lot of attention because both of them are fantastic fragrances. This one doesn't get as much attention, but it's just as good as those two fragrances in my humble opinion. This one right here, standout note of tangerine, and that's something again that you don't see a lot in fragrances. You have some tangerine in here, you have benzoin in this as well. And to me, I've said this before, one of my favorite foods in the entire world, regardless of how you prepare it, sweet potato pies, candy yams, whatever. Sweet potatoes, I love sweet potatoes. This smells like a sweet potato pie. And I don't know if some of you that may not like sweet potato pie may be turned off by that reference, but to me it makes my mouth water. And it's kind of sort of what this reminds me of. And when I give my full review, I will break it down even more so you can understand where I'm coming from with that. But just know for the fall season, this is perfect from the House of YSL. Again, this one is called Captain. All right, guys, so my choice for the winter from the House of YSL, of course, is going to be this one, Tuxedo. Tuxedo, and rightfully so, as I said earlier, this fragrance gets a lot of acclaim, a lot of praise, because it's a really great fragrance, especially if you like the note of patchouli. It's a spicy patchouli fragrance. So you have some black pepper in here, that stands out to me, to my nose, coriander. Of course, you have patchouli, and then you get some sweetness on the dry down from vanilla. Oh, man. I see why so many people like this fragrance. It's really hard, in my opinion, especially for a fragrance connoisseur, not to really enjoy this scent, because when you smell it, you smell quality. And again, if you love patchouli, you're definitely going to probably like this one. So my choice for the winter from the House of YSL is none other than probably their most popular fragrance, Tuxedo. All right, guys, so my choice next up is going to be from the House of Christian Dior. I'm going to give you a fall and winter choice. And my choice for the fall is none other than the infamous Fève Délicieuse. Fève Délicieuse, and this, of course, also is an amazing fragrance. This has gotten a lot of attention in the fragrance community for a great reason. It's amazing, especially if you like gourmand fragrances. It's really sweet. Although it's not so sweet where I think it leans too feminine, this is definitely a unisex fragrance. But guys, I'm telling you, you can rock this and pull it off. Again, think about this fragrance again. It's gourmand, it's sweet, praline, vanilla, tonka bean. It's creamy. You have this sandalwood accord in this as well. This is just, again, if you like gourmands, I think it's really hard not to like this. You get all that, and it opens up with this kind of this vibe of cherry as well. I think cherry is actually a note listed here. This is just amazing, man. It's a classic. It's good. It really is good, and it deserves all of the acclaim and praise that it's gotten. So my choice for the fall from Christian Dior, again, is Fève Délicieuse. All right, guys, now up next is my choice for the winter time from Christian Dior. I'm gonna go with this one right here. It's called Allure. Allure. Now this scent is super crazy. You talk about a fragrance that screams as it relates to the performance. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's phenomenal. Main two notes here is honey and tobacco. So you get honey and tobacco with some spices in here as well. Again, amazing fragrance. And one of the things I love about it, to me, it just screams cold weather. Wear me when it's cold outside is what this fragrance says to me. I've worn it a couple times here actually over the past few weeks because we've been getting some cooler temperatures here where I'm located, and which I'm always happy about. And this thing shines in the cold weather. I think the colder it is outside, the better this stuff smells in the cool air. So check this one out, guys. Again, this one is called Tobacco Lore. All right, guys, so the last high-end designer fragrance brand that I want to mention is, of course, Tom Ford. My choice this year for the fall would be this one right here. This is called Ebon Fume. Ebon Fume, and I really, really enjoy this fragrance, especially if you guys are into Palo Santo. You're going to enjoy this. It's Palo Santo and incense and some spices. There's black pepper in here as well. Again, to me, to my nose, perfect for the fall weather. Very incensey fragrance. Again, the Palo Santo to me somehow kind of comes off really smelling really similar to sandalwood. That's what it smells like to my nose. If you smell fragrances, of course, like Santal 33 from the house of, I think it's YSL, you know, Cabana, just kind of spoke about that, how the sandalwood comes off in that fragrance. If you smell fragrances like that, then you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. But anyway, incensey, smoky incense, and this Palo Santo note with some spices, and of course a little bit of leather on the dry down is the main notes to my nose. But this is perfect for fall, man. So check this one out from Tom Ford. Again, this is called Ebon Fume. And last but not least on this list today from Tom Ford, of course you guys know what's coming, man. For the winter, Tobacco Oud. Tobacco Oud, and again, this is just a boss fragrance, man. Tobacco Oud. There's some whiskey in here. Oh my God. This stuff makes me smile. It's so good, man. Another one that I kind of put in that category with Nombre Nomad from Louis Vuitton. Just a boss fragrance. If I'm dressed up, tuxedo, or just a suit, oh man, this just does it. I'm telling you guys, it just does it. So check it out. I actually saw these back on FragranceNet. So if you wanted to get yourself a bottle, at least it was about a week ago. I mean, a lot of times when this fragrance gets in, it doesn't last long, but if you want to pick one up, now may be the time. But check it out, man, if you can, from Tom Ford. Again, this is called Tobacco Oud. But that's it, guys. That's my time today. I hope you enjoyed this list. I gave you my top 10 high-end luxury designer fragrances for the cold weather. Of course, the seasons of fall and winter. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do. And man, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. Then don't forget, if you don't mind, guys, take a few moments to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you're sharing these out to some other folks out there that you think may be able to use this information, find some value in it, find it entertaining. I would sincerely appreciate it because, as always, I'm Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.